Good morning, seventh graders. Friday. Yeah. I tell you what, for those of you that are getting up every day and keeping yourself to a reasonable schedule, and you're working through these things that you're being assigned all day long, I'm impressed. You're doing a nice job. I know what it's like because I sit here every day and then I wait to hear from you and wait to kind of keep you on track, and then I sit and help my daughter with her work all day long. Anyway, happy Friday. It's a beautiful day. I hope you get outside today. It's supposed to be a pretty decent weekend. I know I'm going to get out and practice my fly casting for fishing, and do some other things. My turkey permits next week, so hopefully get ready for that too. All right, so today, not a complicated day, and this video should be shorter. I'm just going to show you some things pretty quickly. I'm going to show you how I'm going to assess the question that you came up with. I'm going to explain a couple of things that many people sort of did incorrectly. Oh, excuse me. And then you'll have quizzes that you can compete on that has to do with rockets, and it takes, the aspects of forces and motion into the rockets. Remember, this is about developing a really good question right now. We've decided that the physics part is awesome, and you're gonna retain some of that as you go. But the ability to develop a really good question and move forward with that's just as important, if not more. Okay, so let me go to this guy. Whoop, hang on, I gotta switch my screen. There we go. Let me go to this. So here's again. I'm gonna walk through what I might do. I think yesterday I said that my question would be, does 2, 3, or 4 fins fawns make the rocket more stable? All right, and then I said, so you just had to narrow down, use the process to narrow down to that really good question. And then you had to describe the variable that you're changing. What's the independent variable? What's the thing that you're changing on purpose that you want to test? In this case, it's the number of fins. So what many people did is they went right to describing the results they thought they would have. Test results are think of the word, they're results. They're what you get after you test. It's, your test results are your score, if you think about taking a test. So anyway, your test results should have been done after your rockets, after you fly your rockets. And for me, I will try the rocket with 2 fins, see how high it goes. I'll try it with 3 fins, see how high it goes, and try it with 4 fins. Now, I'm a science-minded individual, so I'm always thinking about ways and things that make this where more variables could be added in and really kind of screw things up. And so one that came to mind would be when I blow in a straw, am I going to be able to blow the same amount every time so that it goes, it doesn't have an advantage, one number of fins over another. So that variable is going to be hard to control. I could control if I had some sort of an air pump or something like that, but we're developing good questions. So your test results went here. Now and you should have taken your question from the bottom of the document that you altered there. Again, put your question here, identify the variable. These are for after results. All right, so quickly, what I'm going to do then, what I'll be looking at is this. So I'm going to look at I'm sorry, I went to the wrong one. I'm going to look at this, the question you developed. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I'm not sleeping great lately, so I'm tired all the time. All right, and if you look at your skill check 1 on this document that I also attached yesterday, it says I can ask a question and clarify it with evidence. Well, whoops. Here's your question. Does 1, 2, or 3 more work? And then your test results are your clarification. So what I'm going to do, if I feel like, you're reaching at a level these are your levels of understanding. If you remember on your document, I attached 1 through 4 and what they mean. And so if I think you're at 1, that you're just really not providing much evidence, you just really don't get it, I put you there. If I think a 2 is you're providing what I want, but it's just not solid. 3 is kind of you're providing what I want, it's pretty solid. Level 4 is you're providing what I'm asking, but you're also taking it further. You're synthesizing these ideas into something else. So, you could say, like, if I find out that 3 fins is the best answer to my question, and then I also say, that makes sense, because if you look at rockets that NASA launches, oftentimes those rockets will have 3 fins. So obviously that, it must be somewhat of a successful number for fins on a rocket. If I synthesize that into something else, then then we're going to feel like, wow, they're really at a level 4. They're moving that to something else. Here is, if you look at this box, let's see if I can highlight it so you know what I'm talking about. This box here, can I highlight that? Oh, there we go, close enough. The assessment feedback box. Let me tell you, that is what this is all about. So I might say, Carl, I like your question. It is thought-provoking and measurable. Measurable, remember, means that you can actually do tests and collect that quantitative evidence, that evidence, that's numbers. So we could do quantitative evidence with this if we want. If we wanted to, launch our rocket against, like, I'm looking at my neighbor's house and he has all his siding laps, and each one is about 4 inches, so I could count how high it goes. Oh my gosh, sorry. Measurable, and then I might add feedback. You will need to, let's see, go back to this. You'll need to provide the actual test results and not just your predictions to reach level 3. If you would like to move to a level 4, you will need to connect this idea or question to something outside of our virtual. There. So I'll provide feedback. Like, if you got a 3, you're going to be like, well, I want a 4. How do I get a 4? Well, to get a 4, you'll need to connect this to something else outside of the classroom, outside of what we're doing in this virtual classroom. So I hope that helps. You got to make sure that you have that good question. You have the variable listed. These are your results. Even if it's qualitative, because it's going to be, it seemed like it went higher with 3 than it did with 2, it went higher with 4. Whatever your results are, you should have already gone back and changed this. And then once I'm done providing you feedback, which I should be able to look at yours today, or you should be able to look at yours today, because I'll just be plugging along today, punching these in and sending them back. Once that's done, don't forget, for me, I'm filling in my own here, so I wouldn't turn my own in, but you could turn, I don't think you need to turn yours in. Yours won't look like that. I think it's something I'll give back to you. I hope that explains it. Okay, other than that, your task is to go ahead, and I assigned a quizzes about rockets. You can compete on that. I think it's like 21 questions. Have a good time with that. You don't have anything further to fill out, so you're going to look at the feedback I provide you. Go back and address things. Well, actually, let me do this in order. Go back and address things based on what I just showed you. So maybe you need to go back and change your question. Maybe you need to go back and change that you had these sort of predictions of your tests when those are your results. And then I'll go ahead and I'll give you an assessment level based on the question you came up with. This isn't the last time we're going to work through formulating a really good question. This is something you'll do next year as well, but we're going to do it again in a couple of weeks where we'll work through formulating a really good question. So address those. Look at the do the quizzes, compete with that, and then look at the feedback form when I get it to you. Number 4 would be get outside, enjoy some fresh air, have some fun. It's supposed to be a decent weekend. I mean, I think we've all been waiting for this, so hope you have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday, and email me if you have any questions. All right, guys, take care.